All right, how's it going out there, folks? Welcome back here to a Thursday just before noon here in California. June 12th, 2025 is the date. Latest activity here shows some movement into Southern California. A little earthquake there across the Clear Lake volcanic fields as well. Let's take a look here on the map at Southern California. Starting to move out here. Kicked up yesterday as well along the Elsinore Fault. Couple earthquakes here in the last hour or so, including a 2.6. That is towards the southern end here of the Elsinore Fault. Maybe just off on one of these other branches here to the east. Also some earthquake activity around the Garlock Fault shear zone and the San Jacinto Fault zone. Now, yesterday, handful of earthquakes up and down the Elsinore Fault. Still watching that pretty closely here because that's got potential for some large earthquake activity. And the last one there was about 1756, I believe, as far as a full rupture goes. Regular reoccurrence interval runs, I think they mentioned about 256 years or so on average. So, a lot of potential out here for earthquake activity there in California, obviously. Up the line here along the creeping segment of the San Andreas Fault, some movement mainly from yesterday. That is, that's on the creeping section. Really nothing on the Parkfield segment of the San Andreas Fault yet. Still watching that, though. Northern California, there's your Clear Lake volcanic field. Hydrothermal plants out there creating some energy, but also earthquake activity at the same time. South of Clear Lake there. Northern California, two earthquakes one from yesterday, one from today. This one fairly shallow. About 6 miles underneath this area towards the southern end of the Cascadia subduction zone. For the Pacific Northwest, a couple earthquakes outside of Mount St. Helens, it looks like, including a 2.7. This is well north, though, of the volcano. Across the rest of the Intermountain West region, pretty quiet out there across Utah and Idaho. Nothing showing up there on Yellowstone, but let's just give a really quick glance here at the Yellowstone overview, where not seeing a whole lot of anything here. This is just a seismograph station there that's gone a little bonkers in terms of, well, technical issues, it looks like. But no earthquake activity. Some thunderstorms there yesterday afternoon. That looks like it's starting to fire up again here, or it should fire up soon as these summer thunderstorms brew up there in this area of Wyoming and Montana. They're always getting thunderstorms, and they're always showing up on the seismograph stations there. Earthquake activity in the Texas area still continuing out in the oil fields. One earthquake down Shinner, Texas. That I'm pretty certain that's deep in the oil fields as well. Let's see what we got here across the satellite imagery. Oh yeah, awfully close to one. There may be some older ones out here as well. These are all holding tanks. You have to look really close. If I pulled it up on Google Earth, you'd be able to see. But yeah, a lot of oil fields out there. And you can see them there peppered on the map. Speaking of oil fields, another earthquake up in Canada yesterday. I want to note that out, point that out, because this came in after my update video. 4.1 further to the south of yesterday's 4.5 suspected industry event. Right, that's what they call them up there in the oil fields. Here's that 4-pointer. Let's zoom in here real quick. Up in the BC region. Quite a few of these earthquakes. They're earthquakes, right? But the Canada site here refers to them as suspected industry-related event, and those are oil field earthquakes. Further to the south here, we had a number of them as well. Quite a few of these popping up here in the oil fields of Canada. Most of the time, that's a good sign here that the strain out here is increasing along the North American plate. They're not showing up there on the USGS map right now, but the Canada maps are definitely picking them up. So, watching the West Coast closely here. Got the Cascadia obviously building up tremor recently down into the subduction zone. Anything can happen at any given time, so just be on guard. When the oil fields start acting up, obviously it looks like we've got some pressurization going on. Eastern portion of the country, pretty quiet for now. Also yesterday, this earthquake right here, that is right on the Nankai Trough. Now that's bring back, where's my decent view? I guess this will work here. Well, actually, just prior to the Nankai Trough. This area here, I believe it's section E here, has not ruptured. It did not rupture back in 1944 when we had the last series of ruptures here along the Nankai Trough. And this area, it's capable of producing a big size earthquake. The previous rupture here, I believe it was in the 1800s there, at least in this segment. And most of the time when segments go out here, they have earthquakes in sequences here. Like, say, for example, E and D would trigger, and then a short time later, the rest of the segments would go. Sometimes within a day period. It always seems to happen like that. It's a very interesting subduction zone region, and this earthquake just prior to it, very shallow earthquake yesterday as well, 4.9. I mean, activity all around it here recently, but it's got to be under quite a bit of strain. And I'm not the only one thinking this, because the Japanese government here last year put out a megaquake warning on this subduction zone. Due to all the earthquake activity around it, and the lack of earthquake activity there on that sequence of events from 1944 in this area. This area did not rupture. So anyway, watching that closely. Quite a bit of activity out there across Japan, Taiwan recently. Today, mostly around the Philippines southward into the crunch zone out there. A lot of earthquake activity in the 3 and 4 range. Nothing big, just typical clustering going on. We did fill in a little bit here across the Papua New Guinea area overnight. A couple 4s stirred up. This was quiet yesterday, so things starting to fill in there across that plate boundary. It really never stays quiet for all that long. Movement down into New Zealand as well. I'm expecting that to kick up. Look at this swarm of activity here down across the Pacific and the Antarctica Ridge. That is a heavy-duty amount of earthquake activity down there across these fracture boundaries. 5.7, 5.1, 5.3, 5-pointer, all within the last 24 hours. There's a number of different types of boundaries out here. Some of these are on the spreading seafloor center. A couple may be on a fracture boundary. But either way, the movement here that's taking place should amplify strain upstream here along this plate boundary. That includes New Zealand. So watch for that closely. Put my phone on mute there. This earthquake from this morning, 4.4, 121 miles deep underneath North Island. So that activity here previous. So obviously we're seeing some of the effects of that strain already across New Zealand. That is associated with the subduction zone right here. The Hikurangi subduction zone. That's another subduction zone around the globe that can produce a megaquake, and it's been quite a while since they've had a big one. Hundreds and hundreds of years since a big rupture along that subduction zone. And that deep earthquake there, a sign of further straining this region, thanks to all this activity down south here. That's just the general plate movement. If you look here on the GPS coordinates, scientists here, plant GPS stations all around the globe. It's, we're living in the informational age here. You can pretty much find out anything. And they tracked, the amount of plate movement that each of these plates perform each year, and the slip rate that's accumulated there in certain subduction zones and the transform boundaries all over the place. Well, the general plate movement here is to the northwest, right at New Zealand, following activity that takes place here along that plate boundary. See how these arrows are pointing right in this region? That is what's going on down there with this activity, further straining. So watch New Zealand here. Near term, of course, they could go at any time. Got the Alpine fault we have to worry about as well, but it looks like the Hikurangi subduction zone there a little strained. Even some shallow earthquake activity upstream following that deeper movement underneath the North Island area. A few earthquakes there across the Himalayas. Nothing big going on. The Turkey area and Mediterranean, some 2s and 3s. I don't see anything major. This is probably on average there, a typical number each day. South America, nothing big. 2s and 3s along the Peru-Chile Trench. There's an older earthquake there, 5-pointer. That's going to be up here off the coast of Peru. That struck late last night. Nothing new to report there across that area. Puerto Rico Trench, though, has been quite active. A bunch of movement up here in the swarming range. The last one there from last night, a little 4.4, but quite active out here. Caribbean plate's been under quite a bit of strain here recently. Of course, earlier this year we had that 7-pointer. I believe that's the largest earthquake that struck so far this year. Let's go back here and check what we got here so far. I just want to go back to the first of the year. We'll take a look here at global activity so far. The world, there we go. Search, see what we have. There's that 7-pointer, 7.6. It struck on February 8th. That is, well, I take that back. Yeah, that's the second largest quake. So far, the largest quake there in the Burma region, Myanmar area, 7.7. March 27th there. That's a decent-sized earthquake. No 8-pointer yet. No 8-pointer yet. So far this year, well, we've had, what do we got? 5 7-pointers? That's a decent amount, right? Well, numbers out here, though, on average for 7-pointers, should see about 15 of them on each year. One 8-pointer each year. So far, we have yet to see one. The last 8-pointer was back in 2021, so makes me think a 9-pointer is coming up here sometime. But yeah, so what do we got? 5 7-pointers. So that would put us below average for the number of 7-pointers so far this year. And same for the 6-pointers. We already went through this a couple times here in previous videos, but you know, we're getting behind. We're almost halfway through the year. We're only at 5 7-pointers. Should see, 15 of them. I mean, that's more than once a month. So we'll watch and see how the rest of this goes. I know a lot of people thinking, wow, there's more earthquakes than normal. What's going on? That's not the case there, folks. That's just because every sports page, every weather page, every social media page, whether it's health and fitness, weather, earthquakes, or whatever, are sharing earthquakes. I mean, I've seen a weather page here shared that there was that 3-pointer off the coast of San Diego the other day. Where was that? Let me see here. Off the Long Beach area. A weather page reporting a 3.3. It's all clicks and views. You know, I try to stick on topic to my subjects. I don't go talking about sports, but that's the age of information out here. Social media is just rampant with every type of information that will bring in clicks and views, right? I try to stick to the topics I know about and I'm informed and educated in. And that's this right here, earthquake, space weather activity. And weather, of course, is my passion. I know a lot about weather as well. But talk to me about sports. I'm going to have to, I don't know. I don't know who's who. I don't follow sports at all. So anyway, that's why you're hearing more about earthquakes, because, well, everyone and their mother is reporting earthquake activity on all the pages. So really, though, we're not above normal. We're below average. All right, moving on here. See what else we got across the globe as far as anything abnormal goes. I mean, we got that clustering going on. Watch for the effects. We're already seeing it there across New Zealand. Alaska, pretty quiet. Some older movement up there from yesterday. Hawaii came to a halt yesterday as far as the eruption goes. Episode number 25 came to an abrupt halt at looks like 8:08 p.m. local time there in Hawaii. So that was episode 25. We await episode 26 here in a few days. Let's take a look here at the deformation data. And on schedule, on cue, episode 26 is in leading up to episode 26 is in process here. This is the past 3 months. Ever since December last year, we've had these episodes, 24 of them now. Right, 24? No, 25, excuse me. Episode 25. We're awaiting 26. Ever since December there, we've been, rinse and repeat cycle, and it's continuing. I don't see anything of abnormal activity here that would tell me that we're looking at something different in near-term future eruptions. It's a rinse and repeat cycle. I'm telling you, if I had some extra money, extra time, I would be flying out there to Kilauea Volcano on the Big Island of Hawaii to set up and view the spectacular eruption that takes place here every few days, about every Almost a week, sometimes a little bit shorter, but you can pretty much time it out exactly when it's going to happen within about a 24-hour period here. And we're on cue to go back up. That's the inflation charts here. So here in a few days, we'll see another eruption, episode 26, no doubt. It'll be kicking back up again. Nothing changing out here. No unusual activity as far as earthquake activity that would lead me to believe that, things are changing down below that would potentially cut off the supply of magma up to the Kilauea volcano. Right now, that's just not taking place. Space weather activity. Well, we got an active area out there on the eastern limb. It is currently unnamed. I'm sure it will be named here soon. It's going to be this area back here. Also, another one just barely creeping around the corner of the eastern limb. I guess this is about the only sunspot up here group that's really noteworthy of watching. It is throwing off some sea flare activity. This region down here, a couple different regions here have yet to, they go through these little transform stages there of being complex to fading off again. And it looks like it's fading off and really not doing much of anything down here. So we'll watch this area back on the northeastern limb of the sun. It's got some sunspots coming around that may pop off a C flare or an M flare or two. I don't think any X flare activity. That's fairly low. We do have a coronal hole here, number 57. Mainly south pointing. I don't see this amplifying up here. There's a little bit trying, but mainly southward pointing high-speed solar wind stream that could interact with the planet on the 14th. That's UTC date of 14th. Not tonight, not tomorrow night, maybe the next night there. So sometime on Saturday maybe we could see some auroras. But again, it's pointing south. Just barely going to get clipped, if that. Could see up to a G2 class storm if things materialize like they're forecasting. But again, that's mainly pointing to the south of the Earth-Sun plane. 98% illumination there of the moon. Beautiful moon out there. Low on the horizon there here in Northern California. Way down south. Let's see what else we got. Any close approach asteroids in the forecast? Do like to double check this. Make sure things are not getting too close for comfort. Everything else going on in the world here wouldn't shock me. Everything's pretty safe though. We got this asteroid, newly discovered one, airplane-sized asteroid coming in with about just under 1 million miles. Other than that, fairly safe. Nothing of any close proximity rocks coming into the planet for now. Severe weather tapering off slightly. I mean, there's a lot of thunderstorm activity out here, but that's typical for this time of year. But just a slight risk up here across South Dakota into Nebraska. Little 2% chance up there. 2% chance here across portions of the south, extending up towards Arkansas as well. Main threats today look to be some wind and a little bit of hail in there as well. But, there's nothing big, but still want to be on guard for potential spin-ups there of tornado activity. Tomorrow, stretching back into Montana and Wyoming up there. A lot of thunderstorms, high and dry out here across California. As far as any major wildfires go, let's go ahead and check out the West Coast, see if we got anything stirring up out here. Had a lot of lightning up here in Oregon and Northern California here recently. It looks like a lot of those are getting put out. There is a couple up there in Oregon that started fairly recent, but it looks like they're getting a handle on it. I don't see anything big going on here across the West Coast for now as far as fires go. Same for Southern California. Looks like they're getting a little handle there on the ranch fire down south. That is up in the mountains there above the San Bernardino region, Fontana, Moreno Valley. It looks like it's getting a handle on it. So as far as the firefighters go, that's good. Making steady progress there on the ranch fire. All right, aside from that, let me take a look here at some hurricane activity, see if anything's going on. I know we have some tropical systems there in the eastern Pacific off of the coast of Mexico. Nothing entering into the Gulf of Mexico yet, but look at this way out there. That's towards the end of June. shows some type of tropical system, but this is probably less than the 1% chance that this would actually materialize here with it being this far out. But it does show something coming in there towards the end of June. Sea surface temperatures, the waters out there are getting warm. They're heating up. The Gulf down there is definitely stirring up, getting hot, and that's when things can start to form out there, right? Definitely got to watch that closely. It is getting closer to hurricane season. All right, seismograph stations there, offline for now. They've been coming off, going on. I don't know. Might be a day to do a reset here on the computer system. I mean, the stream's been running good, nice and steady. I don't know if I want to bring it down or not, but we'll see. We'll see. I do have to do a couple updates on my software here, keeping the drivers and whatnot updated. We'll see what happens. If I do bring the stream down, obviously I'll give you guys a heads up here for the live streamers. But it's good to reset everything. I just don't like bringing the stream down because it's been running steady, nonstop, no issues whatsoever. It's weird. It's definitely weird. I was having problems here. I've been having problems over the last few years since I've been streaming nonstop, with it going down randomly at 3 in the morning, things resetting by themselves. I think whatever was behind that finally gave up. I haven't had any issues whatsoever, not one. I don't want to jinx myself here, but I haven't had nothing, no problems at all with the live stream. It's been running nonstop, consistent, and that's the way I want to keep it there. I don't like being woke up 3 in the morning, the stream's gone down suspiciously. All right, those are back. As long as they come back, I think I may just leave it on. Intermittently goes offline. A little earthquake there on Haley, Idaho. I know the seismograph needle or the data there is kind of off. I don't know what's going on with that. Look, it goes off as soon as... What is this, clap on, clap off? I don't know. That's weird. It goes off as soon as I said off. All right. Let's see if they reported that earthquake up there in Idaho. Nothing being reported yet. It's been a little quiet. We haven't had any activity. Well, we had a 2.6 this morning. It's been tapering off, but sometimes a tapering off can be a sign of things getting ready to further escalate. There was some activity down here southeastern Idaho. An overall sign here of strain, right? If you look at the last 7 days, a lot of pressurization across this western coast. You can almost follow it all the way from Montana's mountain range here, all the way down south across Southern California. This whole area is getting a lot of pressurization, and it all starts here with the plate boundary, right? That's where a lot of the stress builds. So those are sometimes the areas you really need to watch when regions really kick up inland here. But also, there's many fault systems across the Intermountain West that can produce large earthquakes, and that's how it builds up strain and momentum from the pressurization going on out here across the plate boundary. So anything can go at any given time. The Cascadia or any of these inland faults that have been building up stress there for thousands of years. Just got to be on guard, folks. All right, I'm out of here. Have yourself a wonderful day. We will catch you guys back out here for the Thursday night update. Take care.